Kniffin, thank you for taking time with us, especially after a rough 5-set loss. What are your impressions of the match?
January volleyball. I don't think either side was real clean early. Everybody was kind of feeling out the opponent, trying to figure out who they had out there, and then both sides made some lineup changes and kind of probed the bench a little bit. So I think good start. I'm glad we could draw it out, get as much as we could out of it.
Let's talk about some of your players. Carl had a great weekend in Provo. Started off pretty well with kind of faltered down the stretch. Can you comment on his performance, not just tonight, but just to start the season?
Yeah, it's nice to have a strong presence on the right. You know, he's a great blocker. He's just a good all-around volleyball player. I mean, I think that's one of the things I like about having Carl in there. One of the things we liked when we recruited him too was the guy's played every position. And so, he's able to go out there, and if we need him to pass, he can pass. And if we need him to play defense, he can play defense. He can obviously block. And then having a lefty out there is always an advantage. So I think it's been fun to work with him as he kind of becomes a more complete player.
Can you take us into your strategy about switching up the lineups within the match itself? Aaron was part of that, and
sure. Yeah, we had a couple guys that were just battling a couple little things, and so I think just trying to get them breathers a little bit and kind of reset. But also, just to kind of see how guys respond. This is a cool place to play. It's a big gym, and it can be a little overwhelming energetically. And I'd be remiss in not getting guys out there so early in the season if we're going to talk about this season as a process and a campaign. I mean, ultimately, this is where we want to be. So, I don't want one of our guys coming in here in May playing his first match in Poly Pavilion. And I'm glad I got some guys on the court tonight.
You lost quite a bit of leadership and productivity from last year's team with Saeda, with Hodges, Hoffman, and
Benson.
Yeah, just how do you replace that? And specifically, has this team with the likes of Dante done so far to replace that productivity?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think that's the key is we don't replace them, because we can't replace what they have or what they brought for us with what we currently have. So it becomes more a question of who are we going to be this year, and that changes a lot because we lost a lot of dominant volleyball players. We also lost a lot of dominant personalities, so it'll shift, and I think we're still figuring that out a little bit.
That I was a big fan of Michael. Is Dante just as good of an interview as Michael?
There will never be another Michael Saeda. I mean, he's pretty legendary. I would say he's a demigod, right up there with Mark Preshaw.
Let me finish this off by asking you about your ballot this week. I love analyzing the coaches' ballots, and you were the one coach that put Hawaii #1 on their ballot. Why?
I had a chance to watch them play on their broadcasts. They sure do a nice job with that out there, and I just look at it's early, so it's a week-by-week ballot. It's not saying they'll be #1 at the end of the year, but I just thought they sure looked impressive. They got a ton of firepower. They're going to win a lot of matches at home, and they take those guns on the road. They're going to be a handful for anyone. And then they've got guys that can bring off the bench, that can bring any kind of ball control stability. So it's one of the more exciting Hawaii teams that I've seen. I just think it's worth giving them a nod, especially since the other teams hadn't really been tested early.
Well, thank you for taking time with us off the blog. Safe trip back to Irvine, and I'll see you down the road.
All right.